The land is practically free.
A friend of mine is doing purpose-built rentals in Peterborough.
Perfect.
Which is, yeah, I mean, he just hit like a grand slam with that, especially with the timing that he had. But yeah, it makes sense when the spread is like crazy. Like, because in Peterborough, in some places, you get the same as a house in Toronto. Like, I don't understand what the hell's going on. Like, all of a sudden, people wanted Peterborough. I don't think that lasts very long, but it's still like, in comparison to the cost of the actual door that you're renting, it's astronomically lower. So your return is like crazy. Now, you don't get appreciation, but I mean, there's a lot of people that are looking for their appreciation they were promised right now, and they're not seeing it, and they may not see it for a long time.
Yeah.
Right. Because he's still 20%, like 19%. If you bought it the wrong time, that's a tough hill to although, you know what, in Toronto, I gotta say, like, if we're on the way up again already and nothing has an effect here, like, we'll get that 20% back pretty fucking quickly.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's so stupid. I remember, okay, so back in 2008, 2009, it just died, right? It just stopped. But like 10, 11 months later, it was roaring and ready and back and past where it had dropped to, right? It was insane. But it was like just this brief blip in time where everything just stopped, and then if that's what happens now, I mean, they're just literally promised a couple $1 trillion to like backstop all these deposits and bank failures. So like, what's the chances that it doesn't get out into the system, right? So that's a lot more money coming into the system, which, I mean, look what happened last time. Everybody thought the world was ending and crashing and everything was going to stop, and then boom, they start printing like crazy again.
Yeah.
It's a crazy print.
I don't think the government has a limit on how much debt that they're willing to support.
They don't, but you know what?
I don't think they've got a limit. I think they're just like,
the rest of the world now does. Okay, let's go. You want to talk about BRICS for a little bit? Because I think this has an effect on, how can this not have an effect on things? You got the more population than the United States. I mean, you have basically the rest of the world now joining up to get off the US dollar and to go on to some new dollar that's backed by an actual asset. I believe it's supposed to be gold. This is huge, TK. This is huge. And we're
heard this before.
Like not with recently?
Bitcoin.
You heard this before with Bitcoin?
Yeah, you know, like a new currency that's going to wipe out the US dollar, you know?
Hold on. I didn't say it's going to wipe out the US dollar. But they're actually doing this. This is happening. Like, this is not a joke. This is actually happening. And you have like serious heavy hitting nations in this thing. And they're all pissed off. They're all fed up with the shenanigans. Everybody's, of course. Why
do we got to keep playing with this US dollar nonsense?
Not only that, why do we have to let these motherfuckers do whatever they want all over the world with every resource, with their weapons and their fucking dollar and their interest rates?
They're screwing it up.
They're fucking
Look what's
up
going on over there. Everybody's overweight,
thing.
Drinking cola, borrowing money off of
assholes
their cousins.
Doing right.
Yeah,
so these guys all got together and said, you know what, like, enough's enough. Look, it's no different than even in a business where a few of the partners get together and say, this guy's gone fucking bananas, we got to get rid of him because this don't work anymore, right? The deal we made 50 years ago or 70 years ago, these guys went fucking bananas and like really took advantage of the situation. I think, because I mean, God, it's just a bunch of crazy bullshit wars over a bunch of crazy bullshit resources that I don't even know if anybody even needs, right? It's all crazy. So,
I think Russia's been one of the big influencers, right? Because they were fighting and they used their own measures to ensure that, you know, people were still using their currency to be trading with the gas, right, in Europe.
Because gas is the currency.
But everyone was trying to, you know, suppress the value of the ruble or whatever it's called by not using it. And so the only way that you can inflate the value of your currency is to say, well, in order to buy what we've got, it can only be purchased with our currency. So it allowed there to be more demand for it. And I think that that's what people are noticing. That's what countries are noticing.
That's what's going on. They're doing that
hold
now.
on a second. Russia just did that? What?
With China and
right?
Iran and India and South Africa and what?
They all complied?
Mexico wants in too? Mexico applied. Hang on a sec.
Yeah.
Mexico's
getting screwed. They've been getting screwed forever.
But they're planning on really screwing them now because they're a big part of the plan to bring all this manufacturing back onto like this coast, right? Back onto these shores. And guess who was going to be the slave labor for this plan? Not the Canadians, right?
Yeah.
Mexicans. And now the Mexicans are trying to join that deal over there. And that can't be allowed, TK. How's that going to be allowed? We're going to have, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
There's too much going on for fucking Canadian real estate to just keep chugging along like everything's fine. Isn't it? Yeah. I don't see any realistic road. But like and this is what I keep saying, this is the thing that keeps fucking up every model that anybody could ever do. Because if somebody can just go, what do you need? Like a couple trillion? No problem. Here you go. You guys all fucked up this bad? No problem. Like, here you go.
There's no incentive to not screw up.
What happens next? What does the next phase look like? Yeah.
Think about how many companies that have had meetings where they're like, how can we get the government to bail us out of this? Right? What can we do? Right? How much? Maybe we should screw it up a little bit more so we can get a bailout. I think that'll be a better strategy than trying to fix it.
You're telling me that if I take all these people's money and I put it in a moderately, not even moderately risky, the safest asset on the planet, a treasury, right, from a country, and things go south and they're going to bail me out completely, right? So hold on a sec. I was making decent returns. I was happy with those at 1.5%, but now the returns are like staggering, and I don't even have to worry because they're just going to pay off every mistake I make right now. Now is the time for balls to go to the walls, TK. Now's the time for these guys to take the biggest, craziest risks and come up with the craziest shit of all time, because there's no repercussion. Nobody's going down. The only ones going down are the ones getting absorbed.
The investors, the small investors.
Yeah, but they're getting absorbed into some consortium. And they were saying,
oh, you know, maybe I can tag along here and make a quick few bucks.
You know, like all these guys are selling the stocks before everything goes to shit, right? They all know what's going on. Like, people know what's going on. They don't have to do it. They don't have to be part of it. But anyways, the point is, it's like with all this craziness, like all this stuff, and and then throw in a bunch of people, like, if they can backstop everything and we're safe and we're going to just keep bringing in money or people, and somehow people have money to pay for these prices so that the prices aren't dropping, because if, like, you're right, if people didn't have the money to pay for these houses now, they wouldn't be buying them, right? They wouldn't be getting approved for them right now. It's harder than ever to get approved. So people do fucking have money. So where's it coming from? How's it getting here? What the hell is going on?
It's the money that's been built up from the machine since 1999, and you were waiting in that little for sale center up in Thornhill.
Boom.
Since then, equity has just been built. Fake wealth has been built since then, and has created us, the situation that we're in right now, which is everybody has got access to assets that are worth way more than they should be, and that they're using that wealth to distribute to their kids, or to be able to go and buy that new car or boat or vacation or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it eventually runs out. That's what happens. That's what happens when the bubble bursts. All that asset inflation, becomes wiped out in two ways, right? The first way is going to be on paper because you didn't sell. And the second way is you're going to be selling, and you're going to use that to buy something else, either something that's depreciating or something that is going to be part of the same bubble.